Till now, in the previous videos, we have discussed about how to configure the Blazor web app with auto mode with Azure AD B2C configuration, login or logout, infinite loop, all those things we have covered. Now the thing is, when we don't have the features of more details like role or any other favorite color, favorite food, something those options is not available in Azure AD B2C. So those things are comes under as a additional data. Okay, before going to additional data, or for example, the username you have to change. So how to change? For example, currently I'm displaying one sec. Sorry, it was some configuration issue. It was just corrected it. I'll just show you what it is. See, for example, let's assume myself. I'm the Madhu. The name, today's date. Currently, in our what we call Azure AD Active Directory system, my name is stored as like by default as Madhu kind of. For that name, if you wanted to update it with current timestamp, for example, okay. So I'm just giving it is 10:30:55 was the time. So update rules, it become 10:39. Like this, the name gets updated. Okay, name gets updated. So it is everything instant. This is what we are expecting, right? Whether it's a database, SQL, no SQL, or whatever it is, Azure Active Directory. So this is what we are doing it right now with changes. I'll just show you the code changes what it is. The name here. Here it is something like user object is not equal to null. Just display the name. This simple thing. Okay. What is this user? Yeah, coming back to the system. User in the sense this is a Microsoft Graph models user. Okay. So what I'm doing is get user details on the page load on initialize get user details I'm doing. So I'm passing the user ID to the system get user async. Graph service I'm just passing the user ID and getting the details user details and just assigning it. Okay. So once after assigning, I'll just show it in the similar way. Update roles and the name, all those things. In this particular, if I go inside here, what I'm doing is this is what Madhu at datetime.now I'm just appending. Okay, this is the name updation is happening. Okay, this is what the name. It's usually default entities. Let me jump back to differentiate between these two default entity, all these stuffs. Let me reload the content. One sec. Okay, update rules. Yeah, so get user details. It is returning user Microsoft graph.models.user. This is returning all the details here. Okay, all the details like what is my name, Madhu or something like this. I updated 10:40. Just now it got update call happened. Then the get user details is happening. Okay. Okay, backing store and here additional data. Okay, this is what happening. Odata dot context and this role all this will come to the next stage. First, this additional data, don't take it in the first step. The name is the first step. These are whatever it is called in the Active Directory system by default structure. That will appear here. Apart from this, if you want something more, then it will be considered as additional data that will be declared based upon your how you configure the user attributes in the Azure portal. This is the Azure portal. Here you have all these properties. Okay, in this Azure portal you have many properties like this inbuilt. All these are system defined. This is common for any Active Directory. These informations will be available. Okay, job information, contact information, and then parental controls. This is Active Directory of anything, whether it's a simple Active Directory or Active Directory with B2C. This information is a kind of a base class identities details. Okay. Now, apart from this, if I wanted to do something more, then for that, as I was mentioning in the earlier videos, we need to define the user attributes. User attributes should be defined something like this: roles card, roles internal, roles town. These are customer has to be defined. Here it's simple, what type it is, and the string int or whatever it is, just create. That's it. Then next to that, in the user flows, we have to define. For example, this is my user flow. We have to define the identity providers. Which are my identity providers? It's my Google, Facebook, kind of. And properties is like logout and all. I'm just quickly wrapping it up. Again, earlier also I explained all these things in detail. So these things, and then user attributes. What are the user attributes you're supposed to extract from the user? These informations you are extracting on login. Okay. Application claims means these are the ones which you are storing with each and every claim and all those things. Okay, this is application claims. Now, this whatever we have, these things will user attributes is the one which we received from the users, is a user input. Here also you can select this. If you just tick this, from whenever the user login happens, he has to enter these details as an optional data. For example, in my case, for the testing purpose, intentionally for maintaining the roles, for replicate that scenario, I'm not allowing this to users. Instead, within the system, I'm handling it. I'm just application claims, each and every claims, I'm just using it. Okay, to how to update these claims. This will not be accessible over the object of user dot. For example, this job title. These are all the things directly accessible, but these things will not be accessible because this is not in the direct identity systems. Okay, active directory identity system. So for that, it will be having a lengthy address. Okay, so whenever you are using this, it is a good feature, but it is a lengthy things. So you have to combine few things. Okay, so for combination of that, what it synchronizes is, so let me show you one example of how this structure will be stored. This is a user flow. This is a user flow which is having all the structure. What are all the things in the claims, all those things. Let me go here, authorized tenant. Okay, you can see OpenID current policy profile, city display name, all these things are by default, it will be on each claims. So these things, extension underscore roles card, extension underscore roles internal, roles down, these are the things will be coming in the format of these additional things. But ideally, this will not directly available like this. Instead, you need to do some tweak. The tweak in the sense, this is a combination of extension underscore some ID is there. It's called secret ID underscore then this particular roles card. Okay. In the main, this is the data we have. So this is the structure. Okay, city, country, display name, blah blah blah. This extension underscore roles ID, all these things. Okay. So how we access, by default user dot display name, this data available directly. Okay, but this is called additional data. So if you try to extract this extension underscore, because this is a Microsoft graph models inbuilt system, you either something like more extension, more property name appending, all those things, it's very very tedious, don't take the chance. Okay, next thing is, now we have extensions underscore roles internal. Okay, roles internal, for example roles card, these three are there. Let me show you the example first. I'm just trying to update this one and this one together. Okay, I'm trying to make it up. Okay, otherwise let me stop this. Just simple this one, roles card, for example. I just chosen the very random names. Okay, just simple things. Because earlier the same sample you have saw the same thing. The format is this way: extension underscore this blah blah blah. I will come to that. Mhm. It is running in another screen. Don't feel I'm doing something magic or anything hard coded. Okay, here additionals. I'm just doing this update. It says error. The reason is this resource does not exist, or one of its kind of reference property objects are not present. It means, rather answering your point, let me combine this. You might think like the resource user ID itself not exist. Okay, but ideally it is not the case. Instead, resource it sends, in the sense this particular resource it was asking. Okay, okay, it ran. Sorry, I'm in the dual screen. It used to appear in the other screen all the time. Okay, it got called. Okay, how to verify whether it's called or not, these rules. You can't see the traditional properties in the user details. Okay, if you go here, I think one sec. Okay, yeah, we can see just show you that. For that also, I'll just tell you the, for adding the user details, this is the way. Extension underscore this ID. How to get this ID, I'll just answer your point. This is called secret ID. I'll just tell you, this is the way you are just how to update. Yeah, this is important. You just create a user object of this Microsoft dot data dot model graph dot model. and then just graph client dot users of your user id, the expected user id, dot patch async of that particular, and make sure you don't modify the user id. Okay, that is intentionally I just kept this commented line. This is for updating. For getting the user details, it is simple. If you call this way, this returns complete user details. Okay, you let me add a breakpoint at this point and just show you the difference. By default, this extracts the full user. Okay, this extracts the specific content. Come on. Yes, user default. Intentionally kept the name for differentiating. So what you mentioned, users of user ID dot get async. Just simple. I just told. Okay, here additional data. You can see it is just having this dollar entity. This is actually nothing. You don't get any advantage from this. Same user, something like Madhu at something 1050, something like that. But this particular one is having additional data of two objects in the sense with config parameters dot select new of this id display name and these things are required. Okay, if you just go here, id is the one we expect, display name is the one, it is not fetching any other things. Okay, id display name, and what is the other one, that roles call, you can see nothing else is there. Okay, but ideally if you go with default user, you have many other data like this backing store or probably many other things, madhu or something, probably job details of id, uh, okay, this one Microsoft graph user or something like that more. Okay, EFG, okay, you can see this IM address, many other things. But here, this is a very selective query, just like select star from. This is just like select star from. This is more with specific in detail column. But still, this gives something extra. That is this one. How this gets extra data to this one is this is loading under additional data as a key value pair. Okay, this comes as an additional data. You can see this is a key extension underscore this blah blah blah, and the value is this one. Okay, it comes as a comma separated, don't get confused. This second portion is a string together, admin comma editor. Okay, that is how we just added, that is what here it is coming. Okay, now how to get this particular id. Okay, now for answering that, this guy, Don Neumann, he has explained very well. Okay, updating custom attributes, because he has added all the graphical image, everything. So rather killing my time effort in preparing this data and all, this is just mentioning how to create the attribute. You just did it. So here the difference. All applications under the Azure portal, as I was just showing, Azure portal, app registrations. Okay, here under all applications, only not owned applications. I'm just repeating. Usually everybody get confused. This is application client ID. Two things. Okay, there are two. When you register, you will get two things. Okay, that is a confusion. Even it killed my time earlier. That's why I'm just really prizing this guy. This is called extension app client ID and app client ID. This is my app client ID. Okay, app client ID, wherever you need to mention, whenever you're defining the what do you call, graph client connectivity. I'll just show you that code also. In the same file where we defined the graph service, don't worry, this code, everything will be kept in the GitHub repository. Okay, so this client secret credential is just very simple. I just made it very simplified manner. Okay, here this update user roles async, I just made it simple way. Whatever the parameters you need to pass, just pass it, either display name or for example like job title. These all by default it comes, those things you can update very easily. Okay, uh, and then for extracting the users, sorry, to make the differentiation, I just made like this datetime dot now for appending to the user, but don't take this as a proper case. For the default claims, this is the way, and for additional data, this is the way. And get user async. This line extracts very simple, straightforward user. This line extracts additional data. Okay. For this, this is called extension ID. Okay. This ID you need to provide. Make sure this is a GUID, but this ID should not have any dashes or any, yeah, dashes should be removed. This is a kind of tweak. That's what he explained. Yeah, before that, here you can see tenant ID, client ID, and client secret. There are three things. I just you can see client secret credential is tenant ID, client ID, and client secret. These are the three things it's required. So coming back to the user, app client ID you received here. The second one object. The second object is app client ID. First one is extensions app client ID. Whenever you are defining any extensions, this is the ID. You can see in my case, it starts from D7E. Okay. Yeah, that is the one. But here the difference is it is having dashes and all. I just removed it. That's it. Okay. Okay. Still, I'll just go through this guy documentation. It's very nice. Really appreciate this guy. So extension app client ID, because getting these details itself in Azure AD connectivity, that kills a lot of time. That is the one, the usually most time killing practice. And instance. What should be the given? Many places they had mentioned you have to mention a full path kind of documentation. MSDN has to include this documentation way. This is the my domain name slash dot what is my B2C login.com, and again domain name is domain name dot on Microsoft.com. It is very simple. Client ID is the one what I am mentioning. Sign up policy ID, that's it. Okay. And then Azure AD extension app ID. This is the one first one. Registration client ID. It's called Azure AD client ID. He has made it Azure AD tenant ID. You can extract this information here. Client credentials. If you click on this particular, it generates client credentials. Okay. One sec. Dun, dun, dun. Click here. It shows what is my tenant ID, what is my client secrets. If you click on this, you will be able to see. And once you create, then you can't extract that ID. Okay, then it will not show. Okay, so for that case, you can't. That's what they clearly mentioned. When you add it, you have to note down. Okay, it's a value OCN something like that. Just sometime back I created. This is secret. Okay, now yeah. That's it. Simple, straightforward. Client secret. This is what I was mentioning. Okay, and for this request API permissions in the uh, what we call is configured. Yeah, let me jump back. Here, API permissions should be provided. Means you have the content, you have the data, everything directly you're able to do. But over the Graph API, is it supposed to be allowed or not? To update the users, you need to have these two requirement: directory.read write all and user.read write all. Just click on this add permission, and under Microsoft API only you have to click on this particular one. This UI looks little weird actually. It makes little confusing. Even in the beginning days, I used to jump to this second tab, or here I don't see anything kind of. But click on this, you have to choose this application permissions because this is the application. And then here you have to choose whatever is that. As I was mentioning, directory dot. I already chosen A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, this is the one directory dot read write all. Same way, user dot read write all. If your application is of different purpose, like only reading and all, then you can just define that. I hope it's not necessary to explain. That is what you're supposed to do. And then it's time to code. Yeah, that's what he's just trying to mention. This code only I'm just following. Yeah, almost same code, but not try cache block. Just add this and just kill it. Okay, this is the way totally how the additional claims you are supposed to maintain. Now, as from my side as an add-on, what I can tune you guys is instead of tweaking this, probably what happens when you're adding something more details, your code is shifting from one branch to other branch. You might be not be able to get this ID, all those stuffs. So the easiest solution is it's not a right solution. It's not preferred. Still, I'm just suggesting you guys. We have users, right? Go to the users. You have many properties, for example like job title. And one more thing, see Azure portal, it might take time to load, display all those stuffs, but don't worry, Graph API is not slow. Okay, Graph API is extraordinary speed. 99 till now I never seen Graph API is slowness, but the Azure portal slow is that because it's just like a Graph API is directly interacting with database graph system. Okay, this is a just a UI. Okay, it's taking time. Better to jump back to the app one sec. I'll just show you with default user. The default user in the sense we have many property called a job title or many things. If you are very much sure of how your system works, how your internal system works, then See, this is Azure portal slowness, not my internet slowness. Okay, okay, this app is loading. Tang, tang, tang. Here we have many property called job title. If you are very much sure you don't want job title, then you can add your roles in the job title itself, because job is done. What you wanted, you need you need a placeholder, just a string placeholder. Okay, that will be extracted in the, if your team is newbies, all those things, then you can place the content in the, for example, where is that city name itself, you can keep whatever is preferred city, or contacts also you can keep, job title for example. I'm just again repeating, because this reiteration is why it's important. Is if you're keeping the job title, you're placing some kind of role like admin manager or something like that, then okay. But what happens if you're trying to keep this home lengthy? For example, job title length is 120 characters. So you have to think of all those scenarios. Please understand your requirement properly. So to reduce this burden of this extra coding, all those things, I'm just telling you this alternative way. Okay, but it's not suggested. Still, you can manage. For example, in my case, for example, let's make see like we are building the smart town project. Smart town is for the sake of connecting the town internally to utilize the talents in a very right way. Okay, so in that town, for example, let's assume like, I wanted to keep the content of who is the counselor of my area. Okay, particular user counselor, here we have to keep. So I don't have additional, I don't want to add additional metadata counselor column. So for that, what I can do, I can just keep it in the, like job title or some senior, something like that. That is the way you can just tweak it up. Okay, Graph API is very nice, but if you use it properly, and here case sensitivity, each and everything matters. So don't mislead yourself. This is same like Cosmos DB. Yeah, that's a different topic, but you can use it very well. Good thing is .NET is making a lot of investment in the sake of this SDK, all those things. You can keep using it. Many threads and all, they suggest not this way. Instead, they will make complete API kind of way. But I prefer don't go with that, because this makes a lot of advantage. For example, see, you can see, check here user details, all those many things you can extract. That advantage when you are having, don't go with this. It's something like going with ADO.NET and entity framework. That's it. Okay, cool. Happy sharing. Cool. This video has been split into 3 or 4 videos. I think you can just go across with multiple one by one, depends upon your requirement. Cool. Thank you.